So you want to speedrun Elden Ring or better understand it, maybe even get on these leaderboards. The very first thing you're going to do if you get a valid run, or if you want a valid run, is to go to speedrun.com, check out the category and game rule. If you don't do these exactly, the run will be invalid. So with this, you'll probably start to notice on the leaderboards that the version number tends to be the exact same for all the very fast runs, which usually isn't the current version. So let's go over to down patch. So for down patching, I would suggest just going to the speedsels.com wiki down patching page, which is right here, and I'll link it in the description. There's a pretty good explanation on how to do it, and there's even a little video. If you're having any issues with it, just comment in the description. I've had a lot of issues with it and I've been able to get through all of them. As a quick note, I'm not going to actually go into how to do every single type of run in the game, but rather just the general things used in most speedruns of Elden Ring, so you can get a better idea of how to go about doing it yourself, understanding how other people do it and whatnot. So with that, let's start playing the game. So now we're going to need to go to the settings and turn HUD on, always, for game rules. And then we're going to need to turn multiplayer off. Once you've done this, you're pretty much ready to go. Now that we're ready to play, let's quickly go over some of the things that we're not allowed to do. So very first up is the zip glitch, which is this glitch here, which throws you across the map, and no Alt F4. But if the game crashes or you have to Alt F4, it's fine. You can even let your display capture recapture the game. Also remember that if you ever use a save and quit, you need to continue as fast as possible. The first integral mechanic to the run that we'll be using is the save quit, which with double doors here you'll see instantly ends their animation. It actually ends the animation of a lot of things very quickly. So basically when we load back in, the animation for the door opening will just be completely finished and we'll have lost no in-game time. Just like that. And the same goes for elevators. Once they're starting their down or up animation, you can quit. When you come back, it'll be done. We can also save and quit to reset the position and aggro of enemies. So we'll see this guy on the right that's coming for us and forcing our stamina to deplete. So come back in, no stamina depletion, and he's gone. You can also save quit in boss rooms to get their AI to just be generated in there and outside the fog gate. The intro boss, the grafted Skyrim, is supposed to be a scripted death that you get by fighting it. Just gonna kill ourselves to get that death faster. We'll know we did it right if we hear some music right before we go cut to black. Hit that cutscene and you're here, that means you did it right. If you do it wrong though, you'll know because the music doesn't go off. You'll jump and the music will never play. Also, you'll spawn back at the top. So our first major glitch of the run is what we call a wrong warp, which basically allows us to go to the default location of any zone we are either in or already have a grace in. And so I'll show a full example real quick here. See that we're in the Fair Missoula like viewing point, and we do this glitch, and then we show up at the default location of Fair Missoula. We're actually there and can do things. First thing that we'll need is the Stormhill Shack Grace that we can get right up here. And you're going to want to make sure you've either sat at or touched a grace since the last time you've attempted this glitch. Okay, now we're here in Nokron. What we're going to do is activate our memory of grace. And then right as the audio cue pops, we're going to go to Stormhill Shack a little bit after the audio cue. Now once we load back in, we'll be falling. We're going to save quit. And then you can save quit as fast as you want there, and once we load back in, we should be good and safe at the default location of Nokron. And there you go. So now let's go over the scenario where you want to go to someplace's default location. What you're going to want to do is activate the memory of grace, and then do the warp to that area you want to go to. You can activate the grace from anywhere, and if you did it right, there you go, default location. Say in the scenario that you actually warp too fast and you end up standing up at the grace you warped to, you're just going to rest and then go at it again, but this time from the other direction. So if you were warping to Stormhill, now you're warping to the grace that you were at. And vice versa. Just remember to rest in between these. If you've made it this far, consider following me on Twitch at twitch.tv/JAHMEZI Jamezi. I'm gonna be doing some run attempts at any percent in all remembrances soon, hopefully. So yeah, see you there. So in the scenario that you fail by actually warping too slow, you're good to just do it again without having to rest or anything. So our next major glitch is the Pegasus Storage glitch, which allows you to take Torrent around like this. So what you're going to need to do is pull Torrent out, and then while jumping off of him, save quit while he's still out and before you hit the ground. If you've done it right, he'll be right next to you. In the scenario that you do it too fast, you will stay on him. In the scenario that you do it too slow, you'll just be without him. So us being in this state means that whenever we save quit, Torrent will spawn with us. Just like that. So our goal is to get him to spawn and die to a death plane while we still live, which we can do with some setups. For instance, this one right here next to EG, we'll see him die down there to the kill plane, not to fall damage, which is really important. If he dies to fall damage, he will just be a normal force, you have to do it again. The first time we summon him will fail, but the second time he'll be here, and he'll be Pegasus. As an important note, I found this glitch where if you have no Estus Flask, you kill him, you kill Torrent, and when you load back in, if you try to spawn him, your game will be bugged. And if you save quit, I'm not sure if warping does it, but your save file will be permanently corrupted and you will not be able to open it up again. I found the easiest thing is to just kill yourself and you won't run into that issue in this scenario. This glitch essentially allows Torrent to never naturally decrease height, so if you need to decrease height, you'll have to find some terrain or objects around you to help you with that. And so next, to get into jumping, you need to make sure to not jump to something too far below you, because you will be suspended in the air and you only have a single double jump while Torrent's out, so you want to use it sparingly. You will have to save quit in this scenario. It's going to take you to the last place you touch ground, which might not be nearly where you want to be. And to dismount, make sure you use your dismount button rather than the ring itself, because it can be kind of hard at times and it's just a little bit better. One of the best things about the Pegasus glitch is actually that it goes up slopes very well and you can gain height extremely fast. Now, it's also great for going out of bounds, which will make you realize a lot of walls are fake and there's a lot of random climbable geometry in the world. So if you've even further made it this far, thanks so much. Consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment about what kind of video you want next. Maybe a specific speedrun you're interested in me doing, or interested in me telling you, explaining to you about it. So yeah, thanks. Real quick, we'll go over the abductor skip, which is a way to get to Volcano Manor faster. This guy, you need him to kill you with this grab. If the grab it doesn't kill you, it's okay. Just make sure you don't die to any of his other moves. And once he kills you, you'll show up in Volcano Manor. This is an intended mechanic, actually. Elden Ring's home to a lot of AI breaks, and the Godskin Noble's a really common one. So what we're going to do is save quit, be outside of the fog gate, we're going to hug it, backstep, let the backstep animation completely finish, punch, and then traverse the miss. We'll be stuck inside of it, and we're going to wait a second. We'll do some punches to gauge the stamina. Once the stamina goes back up, we're going to run in, and we can hit him from as much as we want. So the main damage dealing glitch for 1.02 is equipping a weapon you aren't proficient with, like the Godskin Stitcher in this scenario, and putting Royal Knight's Resolve onto it. We'll see that if we have Royal Knight's Resolve on a weapon that we can't use, it actually costs no mana to cast, and it allows for the damage on our other weapon as long as it's a spell, or as long as it's its own Ashifor. For instance, Ice Ryan's Axe or Frost Stomp. It's going to do more damage, and it doesn't actually take up the buff either. As you see, our sword is still glowing. We're still doing that extra damage, and you can see we're melting Market. The Frostbite procs also do a bunch of damage. And now for comparison, we can see when we do it without the Royal Knight's Resolve. So a lot of damage, but not nearly as much. We'll see this Frostbite proc does a lot less than before. So for 1.03, we're going to be using Move Swap, which means putting the Ashifor Warcry on our right hand weapon, which we can buy from this guy or just get a weapon that has it. And then in our left hand, we'll be putting our weapon of choice. And once we Warcry with the scimitar, we'll dual wield or we'll two-hand the other weapon, and we'll see when we do a charged R2, it must be a charged R2, it does a bunch of multi-hits for every single one, even though it's not supposed to be on that weapon. You can see like there, you get a huge bleed proc, and you easily stagger enemies, basically making some boss fights like Malekith extremely scripted. So the final AI break we're going to go over is the one for Elden Beast. You see here we're going to summon our Fanged Imp Ashes. Any summon will do. You really want one to be alive at the end of his Fire Breath attack, at least as the goal. We're going to run to his leg here, attack him, and we're going to try to get behind his leg again and be in this little pocket next to his tail behind his leg and get him down to an 80% HP threshold or lower while we're standing here and we have at least one of our summons alive. The glitch can work with multiple alive, it can work with none alive. It's really finicky, kind of RNG, but this is the general idea. Do enough damage that he breaks, he tries to step back and do his ring, but during it you have a summon out and you're behind his foot for just the best chances. And try to not go too far away from behind his foot. Don't go too forward or too far back or he will re-aggro, and there you go, you beat the game. So after that, everything gets pretty route specific. I currently have a guide for the 1.03 20% route, which is still viable, but it's a little bit outdated. So leave a comment if you want me to update that or make any other specific routes or guides for routes. All except for pretty much glitchless all achievements, because I don't think that would be a very fun run. And if you give me a follow at twitch.tv/Jamezi, you might be able to catch me practicing. But in the meantime, you should really check out the Speed Souls Discord and go to the Elden Ring section. You see under this ER routing, you can see some subthreads for multiple categories, and it's really your best bet for anything else. Go to discussion pins, and there's actually a speedrun compendium here, which has a bunch of information, not just for speedrunning, but just general Elden Ring information, and you can find routes in here as well. That's really it. Thanks for watching this far. Subscribe, like, comment. Follow me on Twitch. That shit. Bye.